Christmas is over and the new year is right around the corner, so we've got one more episode of the coolest new knives that have just hit our shelves right here at the Knife Center before the clock turns 2026 or something like that. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center. Welcome to the show. Let's start off. I have something with of great gravity to tell you about first. Just because the new year's right around the corner doesn't mean I'm stopping with the dad jokes. The Reate EXO series, highly successful series of knives, and we've got some new stock, including the EXO-M, I believe it is here, with the smaller blades, just over 2.5 inches, and the U utility knife version, which I'm a big fan of. Starting with this one right here for about $275. We've got it in, I believe it's the 3 different blade shapes, the Tanto, the dagger, and the standard drop point blade. All can be had here. Burlap.
I grabbed a gravity knife and didn't get the drop point.
What can I say? Burlap McCart inlays front and back. Deep carry pocket clip, and importantly, in my opinion, over earlier iterations of this series, we do have a locking switch right here, and that will keep it locked in the open and in the closed position. So that'll prevent the handle from juking out on you. When you're ready to deploy, slide back, and it is so much fun to flick and click these blades, let me tell you. And once you get the hang of it, it is so fluid too. Beyond that, it's actually a really comfortable and safe feeling knife to use. Comfortable because you can really bear down on it. You don't have a gap in the back here, which most folders do. Place for your the skin of your hand to get like squished into. You don't have that. It's just a solid platform for holding. You got some traction here under the thumb to give you some good purchase there. A little bit of broader jimping here near the index finger and at the back too. And just a hint of a finger guard there. Feels very secure. And the chances of this blade folding closed on your fingers are next to nothing because it's not a folding blade. If anything were to fail, it should slide back into itself or break off somewhere. So really good practical applications to this type of design beyond just it's cool. It is cool though. 3V steel as well, so it's got a really tough alloy that you could really work hard. Take your pick of blade shape, of course. I like it. Can you tell? If 3V is too exotic for you, how about one of the replaceable blade models? Tons of new finishes just hit the website, and these are a lot more affordable. The EXO-M we just looked at is about $275. This right here is about $82. Aluminum handles instead of titanium and replaceable blade. Standard whatever hexagonal shaped utility blade there. It's probably SK5 carbon steel if I'm guessing, although we don't have it listed here.
Trapezoid.
What did I say? Yeah, well, fair.
I went to school.
You could still do the cool stuff. Is that angular momentum? Since we're talking about geometry here? I don't know.
Just momentum, I think.
The locking switch here is this little tab, but again, locks it in the open and the closed position. This is an orange aluminum here with kind of a brushed look. One of my favorites of the current batch we just got in. Reversible deep carry pocket clip. Fun action. I think I own one of these. I love it. It's one of my favorite utility blade knives that I have. My only critique with it would be probably the blade change. It's very easy, but it has this separate part here and it's springy, so it can kind of go rogue on you when you're doing it. That's to be how I know. It's not difficult, but just keep that in mind. There we go. It popped loose just fine. Put the new blade in or turn this one around if you want to access the sharper side. Slot it in and pop it back in. Come on, you. It's easy, I say, as it doesn't work for me. Oh, we should cut that part out.
Nope.
But then you pop your blade back in, or the other side of the same blade, and away you go. And there it is, ready to go with a fresh edge. Check them out. It's the least expensive Reate, 82 bucks. Let's say that this steel, however, is not exotic enough for you. Even the 3V is not exotic enough for you. Check this out. This is the Kunwu Gringo with S390 steel. I had to look it up. I was like, was it a typo? Was it supposed to be S30V or M390? No, S390 is a powder metallurgy, hard-working, hot-cooled. It's powder metallurgy tool steel. It's not stainless, but high toughness and edge retention. I'm not sure quite what to compare it to in terms of, greater or lesser, of those qualities compared to other steels, because it's a very new one to me. If anyone out there has experience with it, drop it in the comments. But it's new, and that's cool. $359 for this. A honeydew textured titanium handle, and it probably tastes better than your average honeydew that you can get in the grocery store these days.
Do not lift the inventory.
Okay, fine. Don't take that as me hating on good honeydew. Good honeydew is amazing. I just can never find it. If anyone knows any tricks, let me know. 3.6 inch blade, really broad harpoon tipped drop point right here, high flat grind. The finish on it is a black DLC. It's shiny and metallic. It's oh so nice. The ergonomics feel good. That honeydew rind texture feels good as well. I guess it's only a matter of time. You have an orange peel texture. Other fruits have good textures too, don't they? Such as this one. You got a front flipper, but you can safely ignore it if you wish, because you got the blade cutout, which allows that reverse flick, or of course your standard thumb opening. Plenty of length here in back for my slightly larger than average hands, but if I wanted more, plenty of room up front with that unguarded finger choil. Just of course watch that edge when you're doing that grip. Feels super solid. I haven't experienced a ton of Kunwu's products up to this point, but this one feels quite good in the hand. Next up, ton of stuff from CIVIVI and Sencut, all the same. It's the brand and its sub-brands. We'll start with the knife releases. knife releases? I don't know what accent that was. The Gavco designed High Fin XL, new versions of this, 276 and change. You've got a blade that I will not mention the shape.
That's what captions are for.
It's a reverse Tonto. You're welcome, Thomas. 3.5 inch 20 CV blade steel, and a hollow grind on it as well. The blade is not super thick to start with, and combined with that hollow grind, that thickness behind the that very thin edge, which is something we always does very nicely, is very thin, just like the edge. Thickness behind the edge is thin, just like the thin edge. Maybe a new year coming up, but it doesn't mean I'm going to be any better at this. Whatever. Sorry, guys. I really like the hand, case in point, the hand satin style finish on the blade as well. That horizontal grain just feels super premium. Nice contour to the titanium. It's subtle, but it can definitely be felt in the hand, and the diamond texture is quite nice. Milled pocket clip, nice and strong. Let's open her up. Well, let's close her up, I guess I should say first. There's the closed profile. Frame lock for sturdiness, simple thumb stud only opening, and that was a really good feeling snap right there. A little bit of a unguarded finger choil there, slightly on the smaller side, so my bigger fingers are feeling just a tiny bit cramped. Your mileage will, of course, vary, but being a knife product, you can be assured that it's built to very high standards. That, of course, has not changed. Next up, the Skynix, or Skynix, not Skinks. Sure, look that one up to figure out how it's spelled, Thomas, when you're doing your thing there.
Oh boy.
3.7 inch blade, M390 steel, which is the same formulation as the 20 CV, just different people made it. 3.7 inches, as mentioned, aggressive clip point going on. Range of options, it starts at about 318, goes up to 624.75 for a Damasteel version. This one right here sits at 335. And we've got titanium handles with a lightning strike titanium inlay, front and back. Some nice anodized color coordinating bits, as well as color coordinating thumb stud right there. Feels really nice. Blade angles down a little bit. The tip is still kind of high, so it's not going to be like the most like intuitive to point, but no fault of the knife. That's certainly one of the valid styles out there for sure. That's kind of a neat shape in the closed profile right there. I suppose you could bash something with that if you need to.
Anyone home?
Yeah, no, not me. It's Saturday. Well, I might be home on Saturday when this posts. Who knows? Cool knife. Hidden lanyard point there at the back. I sometimes have a hard time talking about some of the Wii knife flippers that are like this because they're all like boringly perfect. I know that's not what you want to hear, but like they build knives super well. Like there's nothing different about this because they didn't need to do anything different. It's just really daggone good. Let's flip it one more time. Yeah, flip's great. Lockup is super solid. Action's great. Fit and finish is great. Materials are good. I would say what more you could you ask for, but if I do that, you're gonna ask for more in the comments. So
Do it.
I guess do it. All right, let's go from like the quick flickers and go with something a lot slower. The latest CIVIVI release in collaboration with none other than Ben Peterson, the Slippy Sendy. We of course had the Sendy already, which was a liner locking flipper with toothpick and tweezers in the handle. This is a slip joint version of that knife essentially with no toothpick or tweezers, however. Two blade shapes, as you can see. You've got the clip point as opposed to the drop point on the standard Slippy, and you have the spay, which carries over, of course. $62.90 for this spay blade with the Ultim handle, $52.70 for the G10 here, green G10 with red liners, which is always a nice look too. Those are the only two here at launch, but if they are successful, knowing CIVIVI, they might come out with some more in the future. Which one do we want to hold here as I talk about the rest? We'll do this one. The satin blade probably shows up better against my shirt. 2.8 inches on the blade length. The steel is Nitro V, which is good and tough. Your edge stability should be quite nice. It won't hold an edge as long as the powder metal steel's on the table right now, but it is quite easy to sharpen, and it is stainless and actually probably tougher than most of the powder metals on the table. Braided fob here at the back, or wound fob I should say, and it's actually, in this case, looks like rawhide. Although on the Ultim version, you're getting just a more generic black cordage. Nice classic kind of touch there. The walk and talk, a little bit on the softer side, not weak, but not super snappy either, but you have a nice crisp half stop there. Nice safety measure as you're going to close it. Opening it should be pretty easy thanks to the lighter side action and a good bit of blade to grab onto there. Nice thin blade geometry too. This is going to be a really nice slicer, which ultimately that's where most slip joints tend to shine anyway. They're not heavy duty using tools, but they're precise cutting tools. And this certainly is that. Before we do more Wii and CIVIVI, I've got one more slip joint to talk about, so let's talk about it. And it is from RoseCraft. And as if you've been following along with any of their slip joint releases in the last couple years, you'll know that they are simply fantastic for the money. This right here is the Beaver Creek Barlow. $58, just under, with the sheep's foot blade, about 2.8 inches, D2 steel for really high edge retention for a slip joint. Most slip joints in this category and price range don't have something that usually holds an edge as long as D2 will. So that's a nice thing. You've got the RoseCraft logo on the long bolster and red barnboard jigged bone. Nice and thick there, as you can see too. The way it all nestles into the hand feels great, and the walk and talk on these is like spot on perfect. It's heavier than the Sendy, has a more satisfying feel as a result, while being, a little more, requiring a little more force to open, of course, than the Sendy does. But man, so satisfying. And fit and finish, there's, honestly, I was gonna say not a flaw on it, but let me make sure, lest someone discovers something in the comments section. And maybe the edge, the sharpened edge, is not perfectly straight. But that's only when I'm looking to find a flaw. Like, there ain't nothing wrong with these. And especially when you consider the money they cost, you're in great shape. All right, more CIVIVI stuff. We have Actually, I was about to say not a knife, but it does include a knife. This is the Partake, an eating tool. That's a CRKT, the eating tool. This is an eating tool for about $85. So not inexpensive. It does come with a canvas pouch, as you can see right here, with a Velcro closure. It doesn't have a belt loop on it. It's just something to carry this thing on. And it is 2 halves, a few different colors. This is the Coyote Brown. It has a little bit of a gold to it, but they're held in place together with a pair of magnets on each side, as well as sort of a center, what's the word? Not like a spindle or...
Keyed.
There's a word for that. It's keyed. Yeah, it is keyed, but like, what's the name for like this post right here? Or is post-it? I don't know. Post-it. Not it. So it won't come apart this way. You do have to put it in the right way and then slide it together like so. But the advantage of that is you can have the fork deployed on one side, or on one tool, and the knife on the other, and you can actually do fork and knife eating. That's pretty cool. On top of that, there is an spoon and an can opener. All of them riding on the slip joint mechanism, each side with one single back spring for each item. Yeah, pretty cool unit. What more would you like to know? The blade itself, I wonder, do we know what steel they're made out of? I wouldn't be surprised or upset, really, in this case if we don't, but it might be nice to know. If we do, it does not say it on the website. Although it does say the pivots are washer-based, which should be a little nicer for cleaning. You've got a little bit of serrated section here on the end of the blade, which is going to be nice because that's the end you actually need to stay sharp the longest, especially for something you might not go around sharpening every day. But if you wanted to turn this into something you sharpened regularly, you could just sharpen through those serrations before too long, quite honestly. Blunted tip as well should also be mentioned. Cool, that's the Partake. Take your pick of colors if you're interested, because you can do that. That was corny, but I don't know what else to do. So let's just move on to the Sencut Sylor. Sencut is the least expensive brand in the CIVIVI Sencut Empire. Yeah, we'll call it Empire. Why not? And as with other Sencuts, it offers a ton of knife for the money. Just under $40, you have a 3.35 inch D2 clip point blade. Not too thick, not too thin, with a high flat grind. Good all around for slicing and for, just using, kind of roughly if you need to. It's not super thick and chunky, but it's not a dainty blade geometry at all. A few different colors of G10. This is the red, and instead of being just a flat slab, you actually have some top milling going on right here. It gives it a little bit of extra character. And it follows the playbook. I used to call this like the playbook of CIVIVI's greatest hits, but they've sort of, they're doing more with the CIVIVI brand now than they used to back when they first came out. So it's, in a way, kind of become the Sencut playbook, in that you have ball bearings in the pivot, dual liners with a liner lock, deep carry pocket clip. It's reversible. You've got a good detent for good flipping or thumb flicking action. And in this case, D2. That used to be like the full CIVIVI playbook, where Sencuts might get like a 9CR stainless instead of the D2, which is semi-stainless. You get the full package right here. Ton of knife for the money, hands down. Next up, we have got a new version of the Yonder from Zach Whitmore, Mr. Zach in the Wild. Damascus blade coming in at about $80, and you may say, hey, that's not new. It kind of is and it kind of isn't. There has been a wood-handled, which is a Gaborsha wood here, blade, or wood handle combined with a Damascus blade before, and in fact there still is that version you can buy. It's a different pattern of Damascus. This is Jagged Damascus. Just in its pattern, not in its actual characteristics. So there you go. Good small everyday carry, sub 2.9 inches. Very, very thin on the blade stock with a high flat grind. This is a very slicey geometry. And the handle, normally it's about a 3-finger grip for me. I can almost get a half finger on the back, but I'm kind of sliding a little bit. So smaller hands definitely will have no problem with this. If needs be, I could always choke up and get a pretty full grip on it, however, but it is, not on the larger side of a, 3-inch bladed knife, just so you're aware. Very good design though. Deep carry pocket clip, mini deep carry pocket clip, which is reversible, and the crossbar lock. And I appreciate that CIVIVI was listening to kind of feedback when the first round of these came out. A lot of folks thought the springs were a little bit on the weaker side for the crossbar lock, and it does feel, the last several releases of new models in this series do feel a little stronger, a little less loose, if that makes sense. So good on them for paying attention there. And you can still get those other versions for a little bit over 50 bucks, about 56, 57, I want to say, with a Nitro V blade if you want. Next up, we have the Tarask from CIVIVI, coming in just under $68. And we've got a just under 3-inch Nitro V blade on this one, green G10 handles, and a titanium clip, which is reversible here. That's a kind of step up from most of the folded clips you find on the bulk of CIVIVI's lineup, which is why it's a little bit more expensive than other 3-inch Nitro V bladed folders in CIVIVI's lineup, like the Yonder we just talked about. As far as length here, it's kind of similar to the Yonder for me, that it's almost a 3.5 finger grip. Actually, it's maybe just a tiny bit longer. Yeah, it feels like I can get just a skosh bit more. I mean, we're talking like a metric skosh. It's very skoshy skosh that I'm talking about difference there.
Milliskosh.
A milliskosh, sure, why not? The geometry is not as thin as on the Yonder, though, if you happen to be comparing the two, and we kind of are, just by virtue of them being next to each other on the table. But it is a high flat grind with a versatile drop point shape. Nice character with the jimping that is broader. It's almost less jimping and more like crenellations kind of creeping out halfway up the blade. We've got a nice button lock with pretty good flipping actions. All right, flub the button there a little bit. Yeah, that's nice. It's good that the pocket clip is reversible, because that's a lefty-friendly lock, even though it's not a symmetrical thing like a crossbar lock that you have on the, I almost said the Yipper, the Yonder. Yipper is one of Ben's designs. They're friends, so yeah. Maybe I conflated it in my mind a little bit. Yeah, just another solid everyday carry shape from CIVIVI in the Tarask. All right, let's do a fixed blade. New version of the SOKN from CIVIVI and designer Kyle Lamb. And these are coming in about 90 bucks. 2.82-inch Nitro V blade, which is, again, good, tough stuff. Slim G10 handles, and like the Modern Hunter that we talked about earlier this week in Seth and my best picks of the year, this is a design that bridges tactical and another genre. In this case, kind of that everyday carry, although Small Hunter could kind of apply in this case as well. The most distinct feature you'll see here is the pocket clip on the handle of the knife itself. How does that work, you ask? Well, let me hold it in hand first. In a forward grip, using this as a utility knife, it doesn't really get in the way, either in a standard saber grip or in a pinch grip here. In the inverted grip, it also doesn't feel like it's getting in the way. Like the Modern Hunter, this design feels like it'll work well in the EDC and the self-defense sphere. Not both sides feel well served. But in addition to that pocket clip working just fine right here, it's designed to work in conjunction with the sheath, essentially. And you have two options on how to carry it right out of the box. You can carry it horizontally on your belt, whether small your back or crossbody draw with these loops right here. Let me see, are these pull-a-dot style snaps? Let me see. Yeah, they're not pull-a-dot brand, but they look, they've got the little extra tab in there, which means if you go to snap them off this way, they're not going to come loose. They only come off this way. So you can carry it on the belt, like mentioned, or you can take these off completely and carry it in your pocket, secured by the clip on your pocket hem. And it's reversible. You can do it either side of the body. And the idea there is you would draw it and then kind of use your thumb to do that. Kick the sheath out. In a like high adrenaline scenario, who cares where it lands? It doesn't matter. But if you're using it for everyday style carry, then you can be a little more careful about where it leaves itself, of course. pretty cool concept and executed well. Because like I said, the danger of a fixed blade with a pocket clip on the handle is just like a pocket knife. You have to make sure it sits at just the right place so that it's not really impacting use so much. So well done there. All right, bigger tactical fixed blades now. We have Gen 2 Revenger from LOTAR Combat, or sorry, the KHAOS Gen 2 Revenger right here. Custom mil-spec elite ghost fixed blade. What name is this actually? It's got like four names here. There will be a link to it in the description, however, or at the QR code up in the corner. So you can find it. Actually, it says right here on the back, KHAOS Gen 2 Revenger Ghost Elite CPM 3V, serial number 238 of 300. There you go. 379 for this bad boy right here. The handles are G10. The blade is 3V, as mentioned, 5.5 inches long. It's a Tanto. It is double-edged. If you want to count every serration as its own edge, it would be many, many more edges than just 3. Although you have actually 3 before you even get to the serrations, because it is a Tanto after all. So yeah, sharp edges all around. This is less about being a daily utility knife, and this is a combat or tactical knife through and through. Primarily designed to be held inverted with the index finger ring right there, karambit style. Because if you are carrying it this way, yeah, I suppose you could do it. The pinky feels tucked in a little bit for me, but that actually feels better than outside the ring for my hand shape. Your mileage will, of course, vary. Just like all LOTARs, though, it feels super, super solid. It comes with a Kydex sheath. Clicks in quite nicely. You've got a attachment clip right there with a little J-hook at the bottom to keep it from slipping off unintentionally. And you can rotate this for horizontal or vertical carry. And then with rivets and slots, pretty much any aftermarket thing you can think of will work with this sheath if you want to swap this out for something different. So tech locks, ulti clips, whatever. It's going to work pretty darn well. Next up, we've got some knives from Hardcore Hardware and Halfbreed blades. And I do lump them together because they're kind of like the same company, but not quite, but it's the same people and whatever.
Similar attitudes,
I guess. The LFK Gen 2. I probably could have mixed the colors up a little bit better here, but hey, what are you going to do? These are K340 steel, which is an Austrian tool steel, very good, tough stuff. They come in about $185, and you can get the compound ground stubby drop point. What do they actually call this one? They call it the drop point Tanto. But they also have a drop point and a Tanto. Sure, I guess. Actually, that is kind of interesting. I'll take my cynicism back. You also have the hawkbill style, or the recurved Talon style blade right here. They're thick, as you can see. I mean, is that more than a quarter inch? Or is that sitting right around a quarter? 0.23, so right underneath. So it's 6 millimeter spec initially. The hawkbill, of course, hooks in very aggressively. The drop point is the most all-around versatile, and we're dealing with a hollow grind on the drop point, flat grind on the hawkbill, compared to the more sturdy grinds on the other blades. That would make this the most generally utility focused of the 4 shapes. And usually you say the Tanto has like the most tip strength of any given assortment of blade shapes, but in this case, I'm going to say the drop point Tanto has a more robust tip. So if you're going for like the most robust version of this knife right now, I'd have to recommend this one right here. Yeah, what else do you want to know? G10 handles. We do have a full tang, but the G10 is kind of wrapping right around the edges of it to give it, a more sealed up appearance, I guess. It's really nice from a precision standpoint, I will say that. 2 screws holding it in, locks into the hand pretty nicely. Yeah, I can't decide whether I want to grip it up here, like right with my knuckles wrapped right around it and with it sitting further up in the hand, or whether I want to kind of juke it down and palm it a little more heavily. I'm not sure which I like better. Both are fine. And you've got a real aggressive finger guard there to keep you from you know, inadvertently heading up onto that edge. And sheath, last bit of the equation, is Kydex. You have a dots style attachment there, which means if you'd rather have a T-clip or a tech lock, that will work. And you could add your own slot if you wanted to get more creative with it. But as it comes in from the box, you are locked into that whole spacing. It's pretty cool. Yeah, I like how my pinky finger rests right in this you know, arc right there. Helps to control that blade when you're doing it for the more utility style focused stuff rather than the tactical stuff, which this is clearly aimed at being. Yeah, pretty cool. Right?
Good job.
Next up, from Halfbreed Blades, again, kind of the same thing. With K340 steel here. This is the Talon karambit right here. Few different handle colors can be had. You can also get it with a fully serrated hawkbill blade, which is not something you see too often. I say fully, like this very last little section, like maybe half an inch or so, is plain edge, but the whole hook up here is otherwise serrated. So that's pretty cool for those who want that extra ripping action going on. $240 for this, 3.5 inches on that blade length, G10 for the handles, similar you know, ingredients list to the LFK. What was the one we just looked at? LFK, sorry. Feels great in that inverted grip. This is designed in collaboration with Jared Wihongi, I should mention that. Feels okay in the forward grip, although if you're using this in true like combat-y tactical fashion, like this is the way you know, the training would dictate you hold it. And this looks like, you know, again, a 6mm blade. Yep. So 0.23 inches for those who use the Imperial measuring system. Super solid. Sheath is going to be super solid too. Yep. I was right. Super solid. Kydex folded over on the back, comes with a single dots style clip right here, or actual dots branded clip as opposed to the Tech-Lock styled dots style clip that we saw over there. But this actually does come with one of those too. I remember seeing it in the box. So you can use either this clip that can slide on or off when you want, but has the J-hook there, or one of these types of attachments right there. Take your pick. It is all included. All right, last but not least, one more folder to end out the day, and it is more on the affordable side, the Bestechman Triassic. Or Bestechman, technically. I wish they would just like merge the two at this point. It's all Bestech, right? 53 or just under $54. You have a just over 2.5 inch blade, Sandvix 14C28N, so kind of similar to the Nitro V that we were talking about earlier. A few different handles can be had, and it has, you know, the name maybe it's because the name is Triassic, but it feels kind of fossilized. It feels like it wouldn't be out of place sitting next to a CRKT fossil, if you know that particular knife. It is just G10, but you got a really cool milling pattern going on it, giving it kind of a more like fossilized feel to it, almost like old like mammoth bark in a way. Not in its like coloration or anything, but the actual like texture going on suggests that sort of thing. Anyway, let's see. Big steel liners, deep carry pocket clip, although a little bit does stick out, and this yellow version would be highly visible, but several flavors are available, including black blades, not just the satin you get right here. Nice horizontal grain finish on the flats, however, and then a hollow grind with an alternating satin grain on there. Very acute tip as a result of that hollow grind. Let's see, 3-finger grip here in the back, or through using the unguarded finger choil, I can get all 4 of my fingers on that in a pinch when needed. Pinch grip also feels really nicely. I like the way this tapers or angles down at the back, and that really nestles into my palm perfectly when I go in for that pinch grip. It's quite nice. And the blade cutout gives a nice place for my thumbs to anchor to. We've got a liner lock. You've got a front flipper, which is another front flipper in this case, which you can safely ignore thanks to the thumb cutout right there. Slow rolls pretty nicely. I'll do it. It front flips pretty okay. So it escapes my ire for one more day. That's the Triassic. Check them out. You can check out any of these knives at the links in the description, actually. But before you do that, or after you do that, let me know what you thought of the knives down in the comment. And once you hit those links, that will take you over to KnifeCenter.com, where we've got Apple Pay and Sezzle now available as options at checkout. And don't forget about our Knife Rewards program either, so you can earn some free money to spend on a future knife. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera. We'll see you next time.